Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're at Christmas Fusion time. And there's some stuff I'm really excited about in here. So firstly, we've got the fusion to do, which is, I'd say like an okay fusion, but we'll get into the details of that. But there are some more champions in the pool which go way beyond this fusion. So we're going to get into that in a second. Let's get talking about this first. Festive Fusion events. We are going to have a section on the website all about the fusion. So if you come in, I'll link this below. Basically, anytime we find more information about the Christmas fusion, what the events are, what the calendar looks like, it will get posted in here. We've already written up the fusion champion in terms of the guide, which you can click on and find out. But check that out. I'll link it in the description below. So let's look through this. With the holiday season in full swing, it's not really, is it? We're not there yet. It's time for a special winter fusion. This time you have the chance to fuse the brand new legendary high elf Pixneal. In order to fuse this chilling champion, you will need 4 champions: Balthus, Alarak, Gerard, and Ragnar. As always, they will be available through events and tournaments. This time, however, there are common denominators among the epics. 3 of the 4 rares required are the same across all 4 epics. I'll get onto that in a minute. Only the 4th champion, the Void Rare, is unique to each epic. Of course, this means you'll need multiple copies of 3 rares if you want to fuse. To keep track of everything, here's a full list. Now, my question for you, Plarium. Why, instead of putting multiple copies of new rares, if you didn't have enough rares, why didn't you put 3 copies of rares that we've already got? Merry Christmas, Plarium. If you're going to do it this way, why not use stuff we've got or we've had? Seriously, it's a shocker. It's an absolute shocker for me. Anyway, what we got then? Available from Champion Training Event, Balthus. So you can get him straight out from the Champion Training. It's normally very hard to do that with the epics. Available from Artifact Enhancement. That's just, have you got enough silver? Tigersoul. Dungeon Divers generally is easy to get as long as you're doing the rest of the stuff. And you've got kind of Spider Tournament here for Pig Sticker that covers that. We've probably got other stuff as well, like Fire Knights here that covers it. So the Dungeon Divers are normally quite easy. Alarak then, available from Summon Rush. So you either get him straight out from spending your shards, or you need to get him through these. Fire Knights, Champion Chase. So that's another summon. So you've got Summon on top of Summon here. Be aware of this one. If you do not have many shards, this is probably going to be a pinch point for you. Summon on top of Summon. Arena Takedown are always super easy. Dragon Tournament, normally not too bad either. Okay, that's running right up though to running up to Christmas Eve. So, that one's going to be late in the day. Gerard the Stone, Champion Chase. So one way or another, if you want to get one of these big boys directly, it's going to be shards. And in this one, it's got Summon Rush as well. Bit cheeky. And actually, the Summon Rush is late. Literally like Christmas Day through to the 29th. That is really late. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You've got here, and actually, this is a Void Champion. So yeah, we need to be a bit careful here. The Void Champions are going to be the ones that are unique. The rest are available through things like Mystery Shards. So you might get lucky through Mystery Shards and get some of these ones where you need duplicates. But things like Dagger, Panthera, Gear Grinder, and Kurzad are going to be the ones that you have to get like directly. So yeah, watch out for this again. Summon Rush on top of Champion Chase. And then Ragnar, we've got Classic Arena easy, but look at the date of it. Who's going to be playing at that time? Roughstone, Ice Golem should be easy, but again, look at the dates. This might be the time, guys, that you do take my advice and get the BlueStacks installed. It's such a lifesaver. If you want this Ice Golem happening whilst it's your Christmas day and you're spending time with your family, check out my BlueStacks video. I will link it. It also has got Arena Takedown, how to auto-farm Arena on it. Pig Sticker, Artifact Event, easy if you've got the silver. And then Kurzad, Champion Training. Again, this is going to be the Void. Champion Training Event, so this is going to be a pinch point. But it's all the stuff that we know. It's all the normal events. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Let's go and check out what's already in the game. And then we're going to check out all of these champions. There are a ton of new champions in the game. I can't even look at that one. Maybe I can't look at any of these yet. No. Okay, so let's go into the index then. Let's dive in. I'm going to start with the uncommons and work my way up. So we've got a couple of new uncommons then. We've got a dwarf. Not you, Tunnel. Icebound Prospector. I mean, he's looking a bit rough. It looks like he's actually dressed in like that felt that goes on top of roofs. Weird look on this guy. I don't like it. Attacks one enemy, nothing going on. Attacks one enemy, chance to stun. Straight in the bin. This guy, waste of time, add into the game. Next one up is an orc. Sun Tribe. Looks familiar. Can't think why. I think she's got a sister called Tree Fella. There you go. Attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 10% of the damage. Second one, sacrifice HP equal to 10% of this champion's HP. Okay. Then heals an ally. Also has a 40% chance of placing a heal on that ally. The HP sacrifice will happen even if it kills this champion. Straight in the bin. No thanks. And then we've got a barbarian. Newbie. Sandbow. Looks like he got caught in a horrific event. Oh no, he looks good. No, he looks terrible. Good. You know what we're doing. A1, attack one enemy. A2, weaken. Terrible. Terrible. So none of the new uncommons are worth talking about. Let's move on to the rares then. And we have got, again, a ton of rares. Let's just go through the factions by faction here. Dagger, first one up. So she is part of the Fusion. I think it's a reskin of Rowan, is it? But anyway, looks kind of cool. I'm not sure what's going on with the like Under Armour garment here. Looks pretty funky. Got a little bow on her back. Actually looks pretty cool, I think. So, A1 then. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each crit decreases the turn meter by 4%. So, you've got a guaranteed 8% turn meter decrease on an A1. I mean, you compare it to some of the people out there. For a Void, I feel like 4% per hit is not enough. You know, you've got an uncommon in Armager that reduces 25 or 30%, is it? What's his? A1. 30% if it's a crit. Versus Newbie, 8%. I know which one I'd prefer to run with. The Void Rare or the uncommon that you can get out of the market. Not the Void Rare. Really, really low base defense as well. Good base speed, good base attack. Could hit quite hard, not sure. AoE though, decreased defense as well. Now that ups her a notch. 75% chance if you land it. It's not a War Maiden one, but it does up her a notch. Now the thing with rare books right now is they're actually really hard to get. Once you've done your kind of early missions and stuff, they're pretty slim pickings. So, you know, if you're an early player coming through, it used to be all rare books. Nowadays, it's hard to get rare books. We've then got an A3, attacks one enemy and puts a, what's this? Small decrease attack, 50% chance. Has a 50% chance of placing the big one instead if they're under decreased defense. Okay, so you want to go to your A2, then A3, and you got yourself 2 big boy buffs. 3 turn cooldown, 3 turn cooldown. It's actually pretty good. The turn meter thing. I'd say she's probably a reasonable rare here. This is a decent addition to the game. People will get some use out of her. Bannerlords, how are they looking for decreased defense champions? No one else in the rare category. Nobody. Oh, you got Stag Knight. Stag Knight is your decreased defense champion for this faction. Is there even another legendary that does it? I don't think there is. So actually, if you don't have Stag Knight and can get Dagger, that is going to massively help your Bannerlords faction wars. So actually, I think she's a good addition to the game. Like that. Okay, let's go on to the next group. Is there one in the elves? No. Bannerlords. No. Barbarians then. Barbarians, we've got... Hold on. I feel like we've seen this one before. We've got Tigersoul. Tigersoul, good base defense, good base attack, fairly average HP, good-ish speed. So good stats. A1, 40% chance of placing a poison, ranks up to 60%. That's a strong A1. That is a strong A1. There's not many A1s in the game stronger than that for poison if we're talking clan boss. We've got an A2, throws out, if you book her, 100% chance of putting the weak source weaken on. It's okay, not great. And then we've got an A3, places block debuffs and increased defense on herself on a 3-turn cooldown. It's a shame that's on herself because it's very greedy. It's very greedy. But she could be a clan boss champion. Clan boss poisoner, I think she's actually pretty good. So Tigersoul, we're going to get multiple copies of her. If you're struggling for a poisoner for clan boss, I think she's actually up there. She's not a occult brawler. She's not a frozen banshee, but she's actually probably in the next tier of poisoners for clan boss in terms of good base defense and a good chance to proc a poison. She would need to be in counter-attack team or ally attacks to really get enough poison to do it on her own. She probably can't poison by herself, but as a secondary poisoner, I think she's actually pretty good. Okay, let's have a look. Next one then on the list is the tribes. Roughstone. Roughstone, what we got? AoE A1. Shockingly bad defense. Look at that. That is like an uncommon defense. Ogren tribes don't really get a lot of love. A2, decreased target's max HP by 15%. It's not enough on a 4-turn cooldown to really be relevant for the new Scarab dude. And then ignore defense on an A3. Chance of getting an extra turn if it's a crit. I'd say waste of time. Waste of time, no joy there. Gear Grinder. I love the look of this guy. Absolutely sweet looking champion. Look at this. You do not want to face this guy. He's got a better smile than Grinner, this guy. Look at that. Love it. A1 then places continuous heal on this champion for 1 turn if you get a crit. I love the things that are situational but in your control. I love it. That's 100% of the time you should be getting this heal. A2, heal all allies by 15% of their max HP. The heal goes up on a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty cool as well, actually. And then A3, revive a dead ally. I did not feel like this guy was going to be a reviver. Look at him. How's he a reviver? Revives a dead ally with 50% HP and turn meter on a 5-turn cooldown. His base stats are kind of average to bad, I would say. HP-based champion's okay. We don't know if he's going to hit hard, but he's only got one ability that hits anyway, so you wouldn't build him for that. You're kind of building him for the revive. And this faction do not have a revive champion, I think. Let me check. Yeah, they don't have a reviver. So I tell you what, for Ogren Tribe's Faction Wars, he is going to be solid. He'll be solid. Everywhere else, I can't see him being played at all, but for Faction Wars, he might get some time. So not a bad addition in that rare. Okay, where's the next one? Lizards. Lizards, we've got... not lizards. Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers. So we've got Panthera. So this is a groovy looking chick. At least Fane's got someone to talk to now, I guess. Pretty weird looking, but kind of cool in a way. So A1 then. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each crit, I like it again, 50% chance of decreasing turn meter by 3%. 3. Why? Why would this weak source 3%? What is the point of that? Compared to other champions in the game, it's so weak. You could book it up to, what, 75% chance? So what? 3 out of 4 times you get a 3% decrease. What is the point of that? A2, heal reduction, 100% on if you book her out. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, what I like here, 3-hitter, 2-hitter, and then buffs. So actually, and reflect damage buff as well. This is going to be someone who's strong for Fire Knight. Strong for Fire Knight. Might get a little bit of play against someone like Agref in Doom Tower, where you got small turn meter decreases and a heal reduction, but you don't want to decrease turn meter by too much because you don't want to take too much damage. Could be useful. Perfect Veil and reflect damage is kind of nice. average base stats, really low base defense. So I can't see her getting much playtime, but for Fire Knight, could be pretty good. Okay, that is that. Is that all of them? Hold on, we might have an orc. Oh yeah, we do. Orc, pig sticker. Pig sticker, again, looks familiar. We've seen this skin before. Bad base defense again. I don't know why they keep rolling out these terrible base defense champions. It's so hard to keep them alive. We've got an A1 heal reduction. Okay. A2 decrease target's max HP by 20% of the damage. Be interesting to know if she hits hard, because that could be useful for the Scarab dude. A3 decrease target's max HP as well. Okay, so we've got someone here who can come in and help us out on the Scarab dude boss, potentially. Doom Tower Aura, nice. We've only got a few of these in the mix, so Pig Sticker could be pretty useful. Be interesting to see how hard she hits, but so far feels like Scarab dude boss speciality. Okay, and then we do have another one, actually, a dwarf in Ragnar. Yeah, Ragnar. So A1 Leech. This is a Void again, guys. Void. Oh, no, I'm on the Epic. I'm on the wrong dude. Kurzad, Deep Heart. Decrease speed A1 if it's a crit, like it. AoE A2. Each crit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5. This is a nice ability here. If you're hitting, 3-4 opponents, then you're getting yourself a good 30% turn meter back. Increased damage off this. I'd love to see if this hits hard. Good base attack. Again, very weak base defense. And then we've got an A3. Places an increased accuracy buff on all allies. I think that's the first time I've seen that across the team on a definite, which is cool. It's needed for, it's needed for Doom Tower because there's so many high resistance waves. 75% chance of placing the weak decreased defense, which becomes 100. This is a good champion. This is a pretty good Void rare, I think. Shame his defense is so low, but nobody else in this faction does decreased defense like that. So I tell you what, he is going to get some faction war playtime. He might be good for Doom Tower as well. Decreased speed is not a bad ability, and turn meter fill here. I like it. Good champion. Okay, that is the rares done. Let's move on to epics then. Epics, we start at Bannerlords again. Got ourselves two in here. Gerard the Stone. Gerard the Stone Man. We've got A1, 15% chance, placing a stun. 40% chance of placing the stun for one turn instead if the target's got more than 75% turn meter. Okay, that's a bit better. So it becomes 50-50 on an A1. Not bad. Crazy good base stats, by the way. Crazy high speed, good attack, good defense as well. I like this. I like this. These numbers make sense to me. A2 then places increased crit rate buff and crit damage buff for 2 turns on this guy, then attacks. So it's a bit like Errol. Only need to get him to 70% crit rate, and then bam, he's going to slam. Will ignore 25% of the target's defense. Standard. Will ignore 50% of the target's defense if they're under an increased defense buff. So if they increase their own defense by 50%, he ignores 50%. I feel like that just basically means there's no increased defense buff there. Am I right? Is that the maths? I don't know. It's an interesting one. I guess I like it. I like that you get your buffs first and then you attack. What else is here? Okay, now we're talking. So immune to fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, and stun. It says immune, but it's actually on a cooldown. But still, immune to freeze, immune to provoke. Yes, please, says Doom Tower. Immune to fear, stun. All of this is great for faction wars, great for the arena. This guy, I feel like, is going to be a solid champion if he hits. If he can hit, I think he's actually going to be pretty cool. It is single target damage, which is a shame, but and then what else we got here? Doom Tower or ally resist. Like it. This champion I like. Alarak. Alarak. Let me just check actually on the fusion. Which of these are the epics that are going into the fusion? I think Alarak is. So yeah, this guy is. Gerard is going to be one of the ones you can win. Alarak is as well. We've got the dwarf and we've got the what's this one? Sure. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So he is, and this guy is as well. Both of the Bannerlords. Alarak the Hooded. Looks pretty cool. Double sword. Attacker. Very weak defense. Look at this defense. How do they think anyone stays alive with that defense? So A1, 30% chance goes up to 50 of decreasing turn meter by 7.5. Decreases by a further 3 for each buff on the target. Oh, okay. Each buff on the target. I mean, what's that going to be like? 3 or 4 buffs? 3 buffs, call it. 9%, 16% turn meter decrease. A2, sorry. 50% chance of removing 2 random buffs before attacking. I like that it's before attacking. 75% chance of stealing 2 buffs instead if the target's got 4 or more. That's kind of cool. 100% if it books out. 100% chance of stealing 2 buffs before you attack. It's pretty cool. AoE then, A3, 75% chance of placing decreased attack. I like it. Decreased accuracy. I like it. Books to 100. That's a nice attack. That's a nice ability. If it hits as well, that's a great ability there. But its base defense is so damn low. Increased ally attack in faction crypts. Okay, Epic. Nothing special there, I'd say. But could be, if he hits hard, might be interesting. Right, Sacred Order. We've got ourselves one of the Voids. Inquisitor. He kind of looks like he doesn't. He looks a bit like Harrier. It looks like he doesn't fit the game. Very casual. Very low base defense again. What's going on with this guy? Attacks one enemy. 50% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff by 1 turn. Counterattacks with this skill each time an enemy places a debuff on an ally. That's quite cool, actually. So if someone debuffs your team, he counterattacks with this. Each time. So does that mean... Let's see. This counterattack will only deal 50% damage. Can't be a crit. So does that mean if someone places decreased defense and weaken on your whole team, this guy hits them 8 times? Is that what that's saying? Each time an enemy places a debuff on an ally. That's really interesting, guys. That's really interesting. Even for something like a clan boss unkillable team. If you're taking a bunch of, especially you have block debuffs with Maneater, not with like a tower team, but are you going to get like 4 or 5 counterattacks every time he does his decrease, it puts his poison on or something? That's an interesting one. A2 then attacks one enemy 3 times, ignores 25% of the target's defense, will ignore another 25% for each buff on this champion. So it can be up to 100% with 3 buffs. It's pretty cool. Places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this kills someone. Wow. Love that ability. That is a really cool ability. Someone goes before him, places a bunch of buffs. He ignores 100% of the target's defense he's going after, and then fears everyone else. That's cool. That's a very cool ability. Passive as well. Each critical hit fills his turn meter. Nice. Whenever an ally receives a fear or true fear, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the ally's turn meter by 15%. And there's no cooldown on it. So is that saying then, every time he true fears with this, he actually doesn't true fear with this, he speeds up his team instead. I think I'm reading that right. Whenever an ally receives fear or true fear, this skill instantly removes that and fills the ally's turn meter. I got it now. I got it. Wow. Still awesome. What a passive. So you can't be feared when this guy's on your team. It's impossible to be feared when this guy's on your team. Instead, you get 15% more turn meter. Damn, this guy looks wicked. This guy looks very cool. Love it. Doom Tower accuracy increase as well. If only his defense was an absolute noodle territory defense. But he looks interesting. Like that. Like that. Okay, occult brawl. No. We got Barbs. I think we got Barbs. Yeah, barbarian. Harken Great Blade. A1 places an extra hit if this attack's a crit. Okay. Should be, so that's double hit. Very weak defense again. Look at this. What are they doing to these people? Places a weaken if you book her out, 100% chance for 2 turns before attacking. Okay, nice. A3 applies a debuff spread, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Also extends the duration of those debuffs by 2 turns. That's kind of nice. Will not extend the duration of the debuffs on the initial target. Right. It's okay. It's okay. It's not crazy. It's a bit of utility. Debuff spread's actually quite cool. You know, if you get like a double poison on someone, you spread it everywhere. If you get an HP burn on someone, you spread it everywhere. That's cool. It actually could be really useful for Soraf, where you need to get leech and HP burn everywhere. Get someone placed a single target. She goes after, spreads it to the spiderlings, and you're in the game. Could be interesting, actually. Could be interesting. Okay, then. Ogren Tribes. We know there's one here. We've seen this guy previously. Grunch Killjoy. Obviously, the Grinch. God, look at that. Look at those swords in the back. Fair enough. Looks like he's just stolen everyone's weapons. But I think this guy's pretty bad. Block buffs here. Okay. Bomb. Who cares about bombs until bombs are good? Removes all debuffs from all allies. Places a heal for each debuff removed. That's actually kind of good for Agref for the start of the fight when you get a ton of poisons on you. And then fills turn meter of all allies by 10% whenever a bomb detonates on an enemy. I tell you what, if you run him in a bomb comp, I guess you're just going to get multiple turns and stuff. But there's very few good bomb champions out there. So unless you've got War Mother and Lord Shazar, maybe Soul Drinker, in terms of a team, I don't really see that he gets played. Good base HP. What's his damage based on? Attack. Very bad base attack. Good base speed. I can't see him being played, really. But I guess he's got an interesting kit. Lizardman. We do have a new lizard. Aox the Rememberer. Looks like the dude from Star Wars. If he's got a long tongue. Lizardmen need epics. We know that. There's a hard stage in Doom Tower for epics only. And it is freaking hard. What we got here then? Poison A1. Double hit. Each hit. 30% chance if you book him out of poisoning. It's okay. A2 attacks one enemy. Heals all allies by 10% of their HP. Heals each ally by an extra 2.5% for each debuff on the target. Maybe this is a clan boss champion here. Poison A1. It would have to be like a secondary poisoner. Couldn't be a primary. But it's not bad if booked. Heal is actually kind of strong. 3 turn cooldown for what could be a 35% of their HP heal. But it's not enough to be your healer because you're only getting it once every 3 turns. So it's like a top-up heal. It's a bit like Steel Skull. Feels a bit like Steel Skull. Poison utility. Decent healing mechanic every now and then. And then what else we got? Decrease attack. 3 turn cooldown. 3 turn. It means he can be your decrease attack champion against clan boss. Now we're talking. But what's the chances? 50% places it. So it's 100% chance for 2 turns. 3 turn cooldown. He 100% can be your decrease attack champion for clan boss and bring you healing and poison. Okay, he's gone from here to here. Good champion. Good champion. Also puts decreased crit rate on the enemy. So that's an interesting one against clan boss. For 2 turns, if they've got 50% or more turn meter after the turn meter... what's going on here? 75% chance of decreasing the enemy's turn meter by 20%. That goes up to 100. Places it on the target if they have 50% or more turn meter after the decrease. Right, okay. Okay. Interesting ability, this one. Decrease attack, decrease crit rate, turn meter decrease. Pretty sweet, actually. Pretty sweet. So, I feel like clan boss, yes. Arena, potentially. Just generally for wave control, decreasing their attack and their crit rate, kind of nice. Good champion, this one, actually. Good champion. Yeah, I like it. Good base stats. Yeah, I like him. He's going to get some playtime for sure. Skinwalkers, no one knew. Orcs, No one new. Demonspawn. We've got one. Oh, we've spoken about this guy. This is the guy from Doom Tower. Okay. Ahad the Wenderin. This guy looks wicked. I really like the aesthetic here. Really cool. So we've got attacks one enemy, 30% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff if they've got HP burn. Also has a 30% chance, this all books to 50, of decreasing the target's turn meter if they're under freeze. So obviously you can't freeze bosses generally, and you can't... The bosses generally don't have buffs, so this isn't really a boss ability. It's more like a chance to steal from, decrease the turn meter and stuff from enemies, and it's single target. So it's kind of cool, but not crazy. A2 puts strengthen and block debuffs. Block debuffs is only going on for one turn. If this was 2 turns, I'd be like, wow, what an ability. 1 turn, it's a bit like, not so good. I guess you can use it 4-turn cooldown. It could be like the strengthen and block debuffs for your clan boss if you're running 4-3. But strengthen is a huge buff. It's a massive buff. And I guess it is more like a legendary buff. So putting it on an epic, you have to weaken it in some way. But then on AoE, 90% chance, if booked, to freeze all enemies for 1 turn where their attack is higher than their defense. 90% chance of putting HB burn on if their defense is higher than their attack. So this is cool. 3-turn cooldown. I love this actually. What I'm wondering is, so spiderlings, I'd imagine their attack is going to be higher than their defense. So you're going to get the freeze when you kind of want the burn. Now what I'm wondering is, if you place decrease attack out, AoE first, on its own, does that then make their defense higher than their attack? Any of you data miners out there, tell us the answer and I'll pin it. But this is a cool ability either way. Freezes on a whole team is cool. Burns on a whole team is cool. So whichever way it goes, it's a pretty cool ability. Pair him with Tormund, who loves all that stuff, and you've got yourself a little ally there. Then got a passive. Heals all allies by 5% of their HP every time an enemy under an HP burn gets a turn, and fills turn meter every time a freeze gets a turn. This is super cool as well. Really, really good. Goes well with his kit. Good base stats. This champion, I think, is going to get a lot of playtime. Really fun champ. Lots of stuff to work through, but fun champ. Undead Zen. Undeads, we've got one of the fusion guys. Balthus Druglord. Looks wicked. Look at this guy. Look at these shields. Looks freaking cool. What a design. Good effort. Good effort. I think it might be a kind of soulless vibe, but who cares? Looks wicked. It's like dead soulless, and he picked up some shields. Good base defense, good base speed, good base HP. Based on defense, we've got an A1 decrease attack champion. So you need that for your clan bosses, like the standard. 50% chance to land. It's up there as strong, but not crazy. 1 in 2 chance that it's going to land. Kind of want 60 to 70% really on an A1 to give you that consistent decrease attack for clan boss. But in a counter-attack team, it should be enough. A2, decrease crit rate, 100% chance to land. AoE ability, based on defense, could hit hard, we don't know, but pretty cool ability on a 3-turn cooldown as well. A3, chance to provoke, 100%. Also heals this champion by 20% of their HP. I like it. It's only a single target. I guess this could be good for the Magma Dragon. He's also... Is he the right affinity? No, I think he's weak affinity here for Magma Dragon. I think so. So that could be a weak hit. Faction Crypt Aura. Feel like this guy could be pretty cool. Reflects 30% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker. Not a bad passive. Maybe he's like an arena champion. I'm trying to think where he actually is best for. I'm not sure really. His kit looks kind of good, but I can't really give you a definite. This is where I'd play him. 2 single target abilities. Provokes don't land on bosses other than the Magma Dragon. And he's the wrong affinity for that, I'm pretty sure. Don't know. comment below, guys. Where would you play this guy? I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. Which makes me think, you know, he's part of the fusion, but perhaps not the best part. No epics there. We've got ourselves Erector Giraffe. She looks grumpy. Look at this. Woad Painted's mother. Here she is. A Night Revenant. Grumpiest character in the game, I'd say. So A1, decrease attack. This one is another 50% chance. So same as what we just seen. A2, heals all allies by 20% of their HP. After healing, places Perfect Veil for 2 turns on all allies with full HP. That's cool. That's a really cool ability there. Perfect Veil gives you reduced damage. So actually, very cool ability here. Places continuous heal for 1 turn instead if they've got less than 100%. That's nice too. More healing here. Cooldown. It's 4-turn cooldown. It's quite long. But actually, in this faction, they struggle for healers. So for Faction Wars, she could be good. A3, revive with 60% HP, fills their turn meter by 60, and gives them a long Perfect Veil. That's nice. Again, no revive champions in this faction. So for Faction Wars, could be huge. And then passive, whenever an ally under Perfect Veil or Veil gets a turn, heals them by 10% of their max HP. Also increases the resistance of them under Veil or Perfect Veil. Will only increase resistance once per turn if there's multiple of the same. Great base stats. Great base stats. Gives you resistance in Doom Tower as well. I'm not sure you'd run her in Doom Tower really, but you might do, I suppose. Good champion, this one. Good champion, good addition. The Night Revenants needed someone that could stay alive, someone that could pick people up. So I think good addition. And then the last one then is the dwarf, who is Ragnar Gold Gleam. Looks kind of cool. It's got that runic water feel about him, I guess. A1 then, Leech. 50%, 60% if booked, chance of placing a Leech. A Leech A1 is cool for Clan Boss, by the way, but also, I guess for the new boss, Sorath, it's going to be useful. But you kind of need the Leech on the Spiderlings rather than the main spider, so I don't know about that, actually. A2 sacrifices 15% of his HP, then fills his champion's turn meter by 75%. Let me just check that again. Sacrifices 15% of his health, then fills his champion's turn meter by 75%, and places a shield on them equal to 20% of their max HP. So you lose 15, you gain 20, the shield cannot be removed. Okay, that is cool. That's pretty cool. This sacrifice will happen even if it kills the champion. That's a bit of a watch out moment, I guess. He's got such low base defense. He's a bit like a Gala, I guess. Hard to keep alive with in terms of defense, but he's going to be shielding himself. The shield ignores block damage and all sorts. Yeah. What's the cooldown there? 3-turn cooldown. We've got to place an increased attack on himself, then attacks one enemy. So he places it first, then attacks. 100% if booked, chance to place weaken. 100% chance if booked of placing decrease attack on the target for 2 turns before attacking. That's cool as well. So decrease defense, weaken, and he shields himself, and decrease attack. And leech. He is going to be awesome for. He's going to be awesome for the Faction War boss, and the Faction War boss is hard as a dwarf. So I think actually that's a good addition. This is a little bit concerning, but I guess he outgains what he loses. Certainly for the Faction War 21 boss, it's not going to affect him at all because you don't want him to be the person being attacked anyway. He's got a passive as well. Decrease the cooldown of this champion's Gleam of Avarice, which is his A3, 4-turn cooldown anyway. By 1 turn, every time this champion loses 15% HP. So every time he plays A2, you get a cooldown on A3, like it. The HP loss is accumulated and tracked over multiple turns, attacks or hits, and is not affected by healing or other HP increases. Wow, that's awesome. So every time he loses 15% HP, this comes back quicker. You know what? If you could keep him alive for Clan Boss, I tell you what, you don't want his leech. I'm just thinking maybe he is maybe he's an unkillable champ for clan boss. Decrease defense and weaken, which he gets back quicker than he should do. We don't need the leech, but if this hits pretty hard, the shield I guess we don't care about either. But decrease defense and weaken for an unkillable team, maybe. Big base attack. If he hits hard, he might be one of those champions that can rock into that sort of setup. In a normal clan boss team, I think his base defense is just too low. I think it's just too low to keep him alive. But maybe you can play around with this. But interesting champion anyway. Interesting champ. Right, let's get into the legendaries then. There are a few. So we've got... I guess we start with the Fusion. Pixniel. The main event. Looks cool. Looks very cool. The Ice Queen. We've got a Veil A1. 30% chance. Books up to 50% of placing a Veil on a random ally just for A1 in. That's actually a very strong A1. Very strong A1. A2 then places increased defense and continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. Then attacks all enemies under freeze. Places weaken for 2 turns on all enemies under freeze. So if she goes after someone that does an AoE freeze, she's going to attack everyone. She's also going to give your whole team increased defense and heal. And she's going to put weaken out there as well. It's kind of cool. 3-turn cooldown. She's got very high base defense, by the way. Very good base stats. Attacks 5 times at random. Each hits 30% chance. Books to 50 of placing a freeze. Has a 100% chance of freezing someone that gets hit twice. So she's going to hit 5 times. And she's going... Let's say we're fighting in the arena. You're going to freeze at least 1 person. For sure. Probably 2. Maybe 3. It's okay. It's okay. There's better legendaries out there for this ability. And I can't think where else you'd want to do it. This is what she's all about, though. So a passive here. Whenever an enemy places a freeze on an ally, she steals the freeze. Or a 20% chance that she steals the freeze instead. Books up to 35. So 1 in 3 chance she's going to take that freeze off of you. Has a 25% chance of filling this champion's turn meter every time they take that freeze. And a 35% chance, which books to 50, of removing freeze at the start of a turn. So, if there are multiple champions within the team with this skill, only one will do it. Okay. What do I think? I think she's kind of average at best. Average at best. I like increased defense on my team. I like a heal. The freeze stuff, I don't think she's got a strong enough freeze to really activate this, so you kind of need a different freeze champion in your team. This could be good against Sorath on the higher levels, but I don't think it's a high enough chance for it to happen. If this was like 75% chance of stealing, and then these numbers were the same, I'd like it more. But only a 35% chance of stealing it from your allies. Chances are everyone bar 1 is still frozen. So you're only stealing 1, which means you've only got that 1 chance of getting more turn meter, which means you're only, it just doesn't feel like it's enough. I am not super excited about this fusion. I think she's okay. I think some of the other champions that are coming in right now are much better. So let's talk about some of the other legendaries that have come into the mix. There's only 2. 2 other legendaries. We've got a Void legendary here, Jacquel the Scourge. Look how sweet this guy looks. Look at that. Look at the axe. Looks wicked. This guy looks absolutely awesome. He's obviously caught in a snowstorm, whereas every other barbarian is not. If War Maiden was there, she would be chilly right now. She would be struggling. Low base defense, very high base attack. We're hoping this guy smacks. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit, 20% chance of placing a freeze. Ignores shield if there are 1 or more enemies under freeze. Will also ignore block damage if there are 2 enemies under freeze. Also ignores 30% of the defense if there's 3 enemies under freeze. So I guess maybe he's meant to go with Pixniel, or maybe he's going to freeze himself. We'll find out. Second one, attacks 1 enemy. Books up to 100% chance of putting decreased speed for 3 turns and 100% chance of freezing for 1 turn. You'd hope the attack is big enough to kill someone with this guy, but there you go. Also steals 100% of the target's turn meter and places places an increased speed buff on this champion for 3 turns. Okay, that's cool. So you're decreasing someone's speed, you're also increasing your own speed, and you're stealing their turn meter, potentially freezing them as well, all in one ability. That is pretty cool, but who do you do that against? Who are you doing that against? Bosses can't be frozen. You can decrease the speed of most bosses and steal their turn meter in most instances. In the arena, you're fighting one person. Ideally, if you're hitting someone with this guy, you want them to die. So I'm not sure about that ability, really. A3, triple hit. If the target's under freeze, removes the debuff after attacking and places it on all enemies except the initial target. Okay. Will also attack all enemies except the initial target after the 3rd hit. The freeze will be placed on all enemies even if the initial target dies. That sounds very cool. And then a passive decreases the damage this champion receives by 10% and increases this damage by 10% if there are 1 or more enemies under freeze. So I guess he's kind of built to just go with Pixniel, yeah? It's like the two play together. Freezes are going out there. He does more damage, takes less damage. Active effect also places an unkillable 5-turn cooldown for 2 turns whenever there are 3 enemies under freeze. Okay. It's cool. It's cool. It's very situational. For a Void Legendary, is it good enough? Not sure. Increase attack. I guess I'll tell you what he is. What he is, probably Pixniel as well, is they're the guys that get you through the waves. Don't underestimate how hard the waves are in Doom Tower. Maybe these guys are the guys that get you through the waves. Maybe that's the idea. We've got one more Void Legendary coming in, which is a Undead. This one I didn't realise was coming in. Nekret the Great. Looks pretty sweet, pretty cool. Void Legendary, defense based. This guy's cool. So, 3-hitter. If you book him out, 30% chance of placing decreased attack. 3-hitter. Each hit, 30% chance. Cannot be resisted. You don't need any accuracy for this to land. Wow, that's an ability right there for Clan Boss if I ever saw one. A2. Teams, I'll come back to the A2 actually. A3 places block debuffs, 3-turn cooldown, ally protect, and strengthen on 1 ally for 3 turns. Ally protection cannot be removed. It's a shame it's 1 ally. I know that's probably what it should be, but 1 ally for 3 turns? Because then you get this A2 teams up with allies under ally protection buffs placed by this champion and will join the attack. Allies joining the attack will use their default skill. Grants an extra turn if this attack does not kill the target. I misread it first time around, actually. I thought this was team buff, and I thought we'd be attacking with the whole team for the ally attack, which would have been awesome. This is on a 4-turn cooldown, though. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so you might end up getting 2 allies under this ability before this goes, which means you're attacking as a 3. It's still cool. It's still a cool set of abilities. Whenever an ally is attacked under ally protection, places a shield on that ally for 30% of this champion's HP. His HP is very high, by the way. Occurs only if the ally does not already have a shield. Also decreases the cooldown of this champion's Legion of the Damned by 2 turns. If the okay, no, we're still getting there. We're still getting there. So this goes again to a 2-turn cooldown now if someone gets attacked. I feel like this guy's clan boss through and through. And then we've got another passive. Places block debuffs, buff, and strengthen for 3 turns on the ally with the lowest max HP at the start of each round. Also places ally protection buff on them for 6 turns. This cannot be removed. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely this is the move for Clan Boss, but the start of a round in terms of Clan Boss is just the first turn. Then that's it. There's no more rounds in Clan Boss. But there is a lot going on with this champion. Defense-based, ally protection, block debuffs, strengthen. I think this guy is going to be awesome. I think this guy is going to be absolutely awesome. So basically, you're going to have 2 of your team with block, debuff, strength, and an ally protect. Then you've got your team attack. You've got a decreased attack A1, which can't be resisted. You don't need any accuracy to land it. There's a lot going on with this champion. I'm sure he is going to get put into all sorts of crazy teams over time. Let's hope he hits pretty well as well. But yeah, guys. Wow, long video. Sorry for that. But really, really cool to see so much stuff coming into the game. I personally, if I go back to the kind of main point of this video, the fusion, I personally probably prefer Gerard the Stone and Ragnar in terms of the epics. I kind of like the couple of Void rares that have come in. Dagger and Gear Grinder. Didn't really like Panthera. Kurzad was okay. Pixnil, I think, is going to help you through some Doom Tower stuff. But honestly, she's not crazy good, in my opinion. So, guys, let me know in comments below. What do you think of this fusion? What do you think of some of these new champions coming through? Whew, long one. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.